country, the United States, knows that we're not full yet. You know, you can drive for days.
Here's Johnny. Thank you. I'm sorry, you all. If I could possibly, well, practically, if not possibly, be looking like ragamuffin, or that is at least the boyfriend, if not fiance, or husband of Raggedy Ann. But then I had yet to finally find time or make time to go to the laundromat, be it in the building for the neighborhood where I'm presently at, being of just one big hellhole, or one of the less preferred neighborhoods, if you know what I mean. Read between lines, fill in the blanks, as in one that is, you know, more poverty-stricken and more crime-ridden, and therefore, whereas the neighbors from damn hell are of some source or such types of the worser, or my bad, correction, the worstest of the likes to be possibly considered another rank and file of the riffraff being of the criminal elements of society, especially if you have the main one being of a local drug pusher of an El Stupido and or sicko psycho creep, or more creepy than stupid and crazy or sick, who continues to assume himself has a legit personal vendetta or grudge match against me, and whereas his person as a male of the same sex, yet me reflecting upon the late John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmers, you know, those mass murderers or serial rapists, as well as serial killers being of the gay persuasion. And no, I'm not homo bashing, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I have yet to go to the laundromat. And getting back to some such other, so I can finish up this line of thought. You know, be it a laundromat within this building where I'm at, you know, if I were to finally get a clue or become familiar with the electronic format for washing and drying clothes. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go for the coin-operated washing and drying machines elsewhere outside the building at a local laundromat for given address location, and at the same time be on alert for this one present neighbor from down hell being of the main one of local drug pusher who has threatened my life a number of times, you know, and assuming he has a legit personal vendetta, grudge match against me. And whereas I had never done or said anything to him, with the exception of complaining to the management of the building, real estate administrative representative personnel about his late night criminal activities, being of which would cause me to lose sleep and wake up late and start my day off late. And ever since then, he's been picking at me. It's been off to the races. Yeah. And for how I had likewise had called the police on him a number of times. You know, for mainly or mostly threatening my life verbally, mouthing off to me. And like say, with his different 2-cent power plays to be, you know, associated with and representing the same of the said in question, of the former previous prime mention of his late night criminal activities and or his character as somebody that's really, you know, having a loose screw in his head, you know, and to complement his 2-cent power plays of a criminal nature from following me into the business office of the management, whereas all I'm going in there to do is to renew my apartment rental lease, though I was having misgivings about it, then because of him, which from there he had attempted to flip the script to make it seem like he's the victim, to him sitting on a stoop outside the building in the dead of night, attempting to spook me, and was I had just come back from the hospital for that given one time as well. For another time, I would get to how he had pulled, some such crap, and that of the same or similar soul line of thought, whereas he mouthed verbal threats against my person, threatening my life as well as my peace of mind. So I had to call the police on him then. To him, darn near riding his bicycle or bike, to simply say, into me, nearly bumping into my physical person, into my physical body of my person, what I meant to say, B.I. speaking correct, proper standard English grammar, American dialect or not, and where she was just a couple few or 2 or 3 inches in the back of me, and then he rode his bike alongside of me. He was just a couple few 2 inches from person of myself. Likewise, was I had to call the police on him then and there, because he did not say excuse me, so that told me that he had done that as he did on purpose to, at one time or another, he's running down the sidewalk behind me with one hand in his coat or jacket pocket, for a season of the year that would prove to be just as devastating as this present season of the year. And whereas I'm just merely trying to catch a train for the local mass transit, the public transportation system, for its facility right across the street from the building where we are neighbors. And where from there, I had to, change my mind, take a detour, and catch a bus rather than instead of a train for the local train station. Like I said, right across the street from the building here. To himself, as I'm coming back from a hospital, still at another given moment in time, and after being treated by a licensed physician, a doctor here, a doctor there, with their subordinates or nurses, licensed physician, and whereas I'm coming to the building to try to enter via that the front, and he's standing in the front entrance and exitway of the building as if he was waiting for me to return. And from there, I had decided to take a detour and doing a U-turn to try to enter in through one of the back doors to the building. And he must have ran from the front to back, and whereas he goes in and out of one or two back doors more than some such other or another of the other one, more than another one, and mainly or mostly, or that much more than one next to my apartment door. And whereas, although the lock mechanism is messed up and needing repairs, he himself will come and go through some of such quite easily by simply propping something in between the door and the border for that particular back door, compared to the other one, where you could come and go quite easily without any problem by just using your building key as the lock mechanism to that one is all right. Nothing's wrong with it. And whereas I barely got into my apartment from my own place of residence, atmosphere for its premises and properties, and close and lock my door, and where he's standing right outside, opposite my apartment door, cussing and swearing like a drunken sailor on shore leave, attempting to paint the town red with one's fellow drinking buddies or fellow sailors before one were to have to return to base with or without them, before, one were to be possibly charged with AWOL, and then have the military police, the MP, sent out to escort one to the military stockades. Not that he's enlistment personnel of the military, the U.S. military. I'm just saying, to put greater emphasis on some such, give you a general idea, whatever. And was he misbehaving like himself is practically, if not possibly, about to kick my apartment door in. And fortunately, I was able to get off an emergency telephone call to the boys in blue, the fuzz, the big boss man, or to the local police authorities that there's trouble in paradise, or as I had placed emergency 911 telephone call to police or to cops, to simply say. And I barely got off that emergency telephone call 911 to call the police, whereas my cell phone was about to die, and all while I'm doing so, I'm recharging it, yeah. And so much for that conversation and dialogue. Not that I had meant to seem like I'm wagging the dog as in changing the subject, but then, and now that I've gotten the preliminaries out the way, the greeting, I did ask you all how you doing, did I not? Well, how are you? Well, so I just, so now if I did before, then there's no harm in repeating that question. And if I didn't, so I do so now. Hopefully all is well with you and yours, your family, friends. And I like to think that the same can could possibly be said and I'm straight for the record when it comes to me and mine. But then now that I've gotten the greetings out the way, the greeting, or whatever I said, or salutation. I never had promised you all that I would sound quite eloquent in speaking. I mean, after all, I'm not an English major, how much less an English professor. So I apologize if I butcher our own native adopted tongue of the American dialect with all of its grammatical usages of quality and quantities. Anyway. And now I got the preliminaries out the way, the greeting, salutation, or whatever you want to call it, and icebreaker, whatever, and the question of asking about your welfare, have composed a basic intro as an introduction and a footnote. Then let's just dive into the present subject matter or topic of discussion to be debated, or that being a given argument with the many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing some such thereof. And as I give my own personal take or perspective, speak my mind of some such views and opinions to be possibly considered. And as it is regarding making reference to, that being of those who are the booty bandits. And as I suspect that my present neighbor from damn hell could possibly be of the likes of them, as he makes like a character more than just a midnight cowboy as a spook that sit by the door. And he must be kind of gay to continue to, and I'm not homo bashing when I say this, and as he represents less manhood than a much more familiar closet faggot or homo queer gump. And as he continues to, become or be infatuated or obsessed with my person to attempt to give me the BS and to make my life a living damn hell. Although lately he's been misbehaving more like a creepy kind of male character than a more obvious one of the riffraff or the rank and file of the derelict transients. Did I say derelict transit? No, he's not homeless. That is the criminal elements of society is what I meant to say. Sorry about that. Well, I know he don't have a home with church people, unless I'm mistaken. Well, unless he is of the likes of, those being closet devil worshippers who make up most churchgoers or whatever religious denomination. Well, I know we don't have a home among us being of the few real or true believers in God. And as I suspect him of being of one of the unsaved, lost down human souls, or non-believers, or unredeemed, or non-repentant unbelievers, Anyway, though, and as I suspect him for that matter, could be a closet gay rapist, or was she a closet gay pedophile of a Catholic priest wannabe, possible potential closet gay pedophile Catholic priest wannabe. Not that all Catholic priests are in the boys, and neither nor are all Catholic nuns in the boys. You know, and speaking on it last, as it would complement the present name title, as well as the video content for this present social media broadcast, to be associated with and representing some such. So I had thought to speak upon this matter as it was brought to mind in due regard of the closet-booty-bandits, when I had witnessed a non-white male, regardless of whether he himself is black or brown or black or Hispanic, he was mouthing off to some non-white females in some such a way upon premises or properties of a mass transit or public transportation system, regardless of whether it was for a bus or a train route. And he was speaking quite offensively, against their person. I mean, you can't force a female to engage in conversation or dialogue with you if one does not want to. I'm like saying the nerve of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he may be one of them booty bandits. He may be a closet booty bandit out here. Whereas I had witnessed from there, like any other passengers, all of a sudden, the different woman that he was seated nearby, they got up and moved to another seat. Like I said, this is regardless of whether it was for a bus or train route, And I'm like, wow, man, seriously though? Here it is, the closing of the day. Yeah, it was around about 5 something, 6 something before I got back here on it to be bothered with this main name from down here of a local poop butt pissant, a stupid or dumb called sicko psycho creep drug pusher. Well, he's more creepy than stupid, crazy, or sick, Whereas it would more than seem like he himself is attempting to spook me by bothering with my apartment door, and as he could possibly be some kind of closet gay male sexual predator animal monster character. When we're getting back to some of such other likes, but of a non-gay guy, if I would do so. He was mouthing off to them, and they get up and said else when he was calling them B word and everything. I'm like saying, man, that's wrong, brother. I'm thinking that's wrong. I kind of like more or less address the issue to him, but not so much where it's on. Because I gotta consider my priorities, I mean, I'm being sweated by my present neighbors from damn hell enough as it is, and more males, well, especially the main one being a male character, a local drug pusher, who could possibly be engaged in faggot freak fest, as far as I know, behind closed and locked doors with other males of the same sex, I mean, after all, he's so infatuated, obsessed with my person as another male of the same sex. So anyway, though, and getting back to some of such stuff, so this cat, he's mouthing off to these females, regardless of whether they were a grown adult woman or underage, adolescent or teenage or preteen females. That's beside the point. He's calling them B words because, well, they were more like, I was just saying for the sake of argument and the matter of figure speak, but then in all reality, in the fact of the matter, they were more like women than underage female minors or girls, adolescent or teenage and preteen girls. Like he's mouthing off, calling them the B word because they don't want to engage in conversation or dialogue with him. I'm like saying, man, that's wrong, bro. That's wrong. I'm like, hey, bro, why do you want to do that? I had told him more words or less, and at the same time, try to think to be discreet with a mind attention, because I don't need anybody else to give me the business, because as far as I know, he could be like, having some kind of lethal weapon in his possession on his person and could think of it with mass intentions to use upon me, upon the mass transit of a public transportation system, regardless of whether it would be for a bus or train route. No. So I had to use discretion. I had to employ the uses of discretion. I had to be discreet about voicing my views and opinions about how he himself is making these born and raised female persons, and more so, or mainly mostly a woman, feel uncomfortable. He was making a certain white woman feel uncomfortable, although there was more, of the non-white females of different races for this mode of transport of a mass transit of a public transportation system, regardless of whether it was for a bus or a train route. And I said, brother, why are you doing that, man? I mean, just as they could have had a long, hard, cold day of it in the wintertime, the same could be said was they could have had a long, hard, hot day of it for the summertime, as it is for the summer season where I'm at the moment for the Midwest, aka Chirac, Chicago, Illinois, Chi-Town, USA. I'm like, man, leave them alone. I'm like, brother, why you want to go there? If they don't want to talk to you, you can't force them to talk to you. I'm like, But then I had to nip it in the bud. I had to, at the same time bring it to his attention to try to, talk sense into him, and at the same time not offend him so much. Because I don't know this male character. I don't know how he could, you hear what I'm saying? I don't know how he could possibly react to what I'm saying, So I'm having to choose my words wisely, and at the same time make sure that my cell phone is not about to die out, just in case I may have to place an emergency tail call to the boys in blue. That a character upon the mass transit of a public transportation system, regardless of whether it were to be for a bus or a train route. I'm like, why are you going there, brother? Brother, let me holler at you. If they don't want to talk to you, you can't force a conversation, a dialogue upon them. Kind of get me thinking about this one neighbor from down here, the main one, the drug pusher, who has been hassling me for the longest, and has the audacity, the nerve to simply say to get resentment for me myself doing the right thing, going through all the proper policies and the procedure protocol to address the issue of him harassing, intimidating, persecuting, terrorizing, trying to bullying me upon a day-to-night basis. Then I suspect that worse yet, he be trespassing my premises, private place, or an apartment. Even while I'm here, where it would be bad enough if he were to do that while I'm gone from the building, trying to take care of some personal business matters of my own for my own personal survival, then think that he could have trespassed my premises, properties, or place, rent, an apartment while I'm here trying to get me some sleep. Finally, after he could have kept me up all night, because on a regular basis, at times he has caused me to lose sleep and wake up late and start my day off late. And I would hate to think that he could have possibly done something to me, if you know what I mean. Especially on a freaky tip, like he's the black sheep of John Wayne Gacy's family or Jeffrey Dahmer's family. Anyway, getting back to this other character of male likes, or possibly his kind. So, but as he is like a non-gay male, can't say the same for the main neighbor from down here. I think he could either be bisexual, if not, worse yet, a homosexual, a closet fatty. But anyway, I'm telling the guy, brother, if they don't want to talk to you, you can't force the conversation on these fine ladies, These fine, sweet and sexy mamas, shapely divas, or whatever races and walks, like some of the lesbians be looking like the blind thing. That's one. Come here, sweet thing. Let me chit chat with you. So, what's your name? What you be about? Huh? I mean, Heaven must be missing an angel because you down here on the planet Earth in my presence with me. Either that or you want more bootylicious, dominatrix, closet dominatrix, diva, incubus, in human form for the feminine gender, from the fiery flames of the lake, fire down hell, and I'm ready to make that commitment and risk being put there for all eternity just to be with you. Come here, sweet thing. God forbid. But so he's mouthing off to them, and then because they don't want to engage in conversation and dialogue with him, he's calling the B word and dance on, or calling them practically, not possibly, any and everything but the child of God. If you be, I am gonna be holy. Flipping the bird, giving the finger, whatever, making it from verbal to physical, the fingers, just as long as he were not to attempt to attack them in a physical way, where he could make it more a physical interaction, then let him cuss and swear and flip the bird or give the finger, because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that woman say no. Quite naturally, with little or no doubt, none of those males, upon the primitive properties of a mass transit, I say none of those males upon the primitive property for a mass transit and public transportation system, regardless of whether it would be for a bus or plane. That was my plane. I don't know where that comes in. But I guess I get to thinking about that movie Captain Phillips, with Tom Hanks when his ship was taken over by pirates, African Somalians, jungle monkeys, Bojangles from what was it, Dark 4, or from the Dark Continent. No disrespect meant to Africans or Black Americans when I say this. I mean, if I would be serious all the time, then this world would drive me completely bonkers, especially if you have my present neighbors from down here, and the main one being a local drug pusher, talking about how he want to kill I want to kill your bitch ass, faggot. And I'm not even gay. I'm gonna kill your bitch ass, faggot. Cock sucking homo. Balls licking queer. You dick sucking Peter Pan. You penis or cock swallowing fairy. Anyway, though, getting back to some of such other. I mean, imagine that with this slight interjection. I said, imagine that. I've never done or said anything to this Joe Palooka. And really not. I guess he mad then because the more I bring it to the attentions of the management and the police, whereas he would get more on the radar, and he can't sell his drugs as easily as he would like to his customers, with his poop butt pissant punk self. If now he's then putting a line like that much more. Well, that's the cost you gotta pay when you barking up the wrong tree. Cause I ain't no easy pushover, and God got my back. But getting back to some of such other, So this male, this brother, the non-white male, he's yeah. Can I holler at you? Check this out. What's your name? What's your name? What you do for a living? Is there a chance I could get together with you? I want to drink your bathwater. I'm like, if they won't give me the time of day, if I could practically not possibly at the moment be looking and smelling like something that the cat dragged in. I mean, don't get me wrong, not to mean to belittle myself. I mean, I am quite a fan of soap and water and going to the laundromat to wash my clothes. But again, I'm not making an excuse, but I have to schedule that sometime. Regardless of this neighbor from damn hell being the main one. And if he get too close for comfort, I will dial the emergency number 911 for the police and have him arrested. And if he resists arrest, then not that I mean to wish bad on anybody, well, at least not from the Christian perspective, but if he get a little bit too close for comfort, and as I look at it from the dark side of me, as a prodigal son, and less to evil, now I will hope that the police will shoot him dead. He'd be one less dinosaur turd of a local poop butt pissant street punk that anybody would have to be bothered with anymore. But anyway, getting back to some of such other being original something that. So he's like, what's up? Y'all moving away from me? What the? Disregard for a busted train ride. Well, FUBs. Y'all probably give it to the wrong guy anyway. You probably got some sugar sour pussy cats anyway. Then y'all could possibly make me catch something, whereas I would have to be going to the little red schoolhouse soon enough again because of likes of y'all rather than I myself could give y'all something. That's how his mindset was like, you know. So I just thought to share this with you all, and I'm about to close out now. And by saying in more words or less, you know, as you all know, I will share the gospel message with you for some such given moment time. By saying, if you have not gotten Christ as, you know, somewhere during the course of a social media broadcast or video content, anyway, if you have not gotten Christ as your personal Lord, say, I will hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins by recognizing or realizing or whatever I said, what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary. Sorry for butchering the English, American dialect. You know, as he gave his life, our Lord and Savior Christ, to fulfill biblical prophecy, to become the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. Don't steal my trademark physical gesture. I'm going to have to copyright it sometime unless I want to risk it being plagiarized. Whereas if any of us, regardless of race, walk of life, faction, society, lifestyle preference, gender, age, and etc., were to profess some of such faith in him, from there we would have acquired the only means of citizenship for the kingdom of heaven, and likewise the only fire insurance against the lake of fire damn hell. Whereas you don't have to worry about being assembled with the rest of the unsaved, lost down human souls of non-believers or unbelievers to be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demons and to be burning forever there. Whereas you would be one among us of the few real or true believers in God compared to our most churchgoers or whatever religions and denominations are of the worst closet devil worshippers. But whereas you would be among the few of us saints of real or true believers in God as in Christians, aka Protestants, across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, and in coming to like-minded believers in the present God and his angels, and even so be blessed down here upon the planet Earth while we're still in the world before we'll make the transition for an existence elsewhere. And whereas hopefully likewise we could possibly become and be a blessing onto others while we're here, especially by sharing the gospel message of salvation to them. You all take care and be safe, be blessed, not stressed. Peace, love, joy, and happiness, and we out. Peace.